What's up out there? This video was supposed to be done the day we got this patch, but they gave the game away free on Epic Games, so I ended up doing that video instead. But I wanted to talk about this patch we got the other day, which was for the Mod Manager V2. Now, this is a very long requested feature. In fact, once we got mod support, it would have been nice to get this immediately, but it is what it is. So what this gives you, in essence, is the ability to load one set of mods for one character and a different set of mods for a different character. So, for instance, like when the modding support got initially added, what I really wanted to do was to have my standard and hardcore accounts at the time isolated to where they didn't run any mods. And that's why I did not run a lot of mods for a very long time, because I did not want to pollute or break those characters. I wanted those to go through and not have issues. The problems you get with mods, let's say that the person develops this really cool mod today, and then they keep up with it for 6 months or a year or whatever. They graduate college, they graduate high school, whatever they're doing, or they move on in life, they get married, something happens. Something causes their life to change, and they no longer care about the game anymore. They quit developing that mod. Well, the problem is that becomes their mod and they can't do anything. They don't do anything more with it, so you don't get any more updates. So unfortunately, things like that do happen, or they lose interest in the game and they quit playing it or something like that. There's a number of reasons that a mod may go stale, and then you just have to disable it, or it can break your game or something like that. So you don't want things to happen, which is why I didn't want stuff running on my other two characters. Now, quality of life mods don't really affect anything. They don't break your game. That's why I've always been running those. But I did want to try out, like we had that modding contest. I did want to try out all these wonderful mods we got, and I finally can. So we now have this Mod Manager V2, which it says here you can create up to 6 different mod profiles, allowing you to easily control what mods are enabled on a per character basis, which is phenomenal. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Characters will now display what the last mod profile was, and will also prompt you to switch to that mod profile if you attempt to load it without the correct mod profile. Browse tab now has infinite scroll, which is nice in the mod listing there. Quick toggle all mods enabled. We'll go through the modding section, or the profile section, here in a second, but mod detail panel now display up to 4 of the images added to the mod.io profile. Most recent changelog for a mod is always visible in the mod details panel, regardless of if you are subscribed or not, which is cool because you can see how active that mod is. Mods without any platform tags are now treated as being available for any platform. So if they don't tag it, it just shows up for everything, is what they mean. Because there are mods that are probably available for mobile only, and mods that are available for desktop or whatever. And the mobile only ones would be the ones, like there's some that I run because if you on a phone at least, if you have too many things going, it actually shoves the logout button off to the side where you can't get to it. Unfortunately, they have the switch character button, not logout button, but the switch character button. Unfortunately, that moves over on mobile. So if you have things with a very long description on it, it actually shoves that off and you can't click on it and do anything. So that kind of sucks, unfortunately. So let's see here. Subscribe mods that are available on the current platform will show up in the My Mods tab, but still not be installed loaded. So if you add a new mod, it just doesn't automatically go into everything. You have to toggle it on, which is very cool. So they've added the Spend Mastery Pool XP screen now allows you to toggle the visibility of items based on which expansion they are part of. So that's kind of cool, I guess. I don't really care if I'm spending all my XP. I spend it on everything, but that's a nice ring of feature. A nice feature, whatever I just said is meant to say that. So they also increased the base bank slot amount to 20, up from 12. So you get 8 extra bank slots. Let me make sure all this shows up on here. The Ring of Spirit power will now correctly use spirit runes. So it says this was hotfixed last week. Hasn't this always been broken? Like every time I've equipped that thing, as long as you had any spirit runes, it just worked. So I'm not sure if that was a long-running problem or what, but it says they fixed it. And then they fixed some other issues to try to unlock relics when a skill doesn't have any. I thought all skills had relics, but whatever. Showing the skill minibar, whatever. There's some other fixes in here. So let's look at the actual game. Okay, in the game UI itself, now this is on the Steam version. I'm sure the Epic version looks the same, or the web version. These are all very similar. This is basically a web site that loads, and you'll see that here in a second. Whenever you have to reload something, it's basically reloading the entire game, and apparently the whole game streams from the website. It'd be nice if they cached it over, like the icons and stuff will sometimes show up with question marks or something like that. Like sometimes some things break, but maybe they do cache it, and that I don't know. Sometimes things go a little off. It'd be nice if they cached this whole thing. You'll see this in a second when we look at how the mod manager actually works now. But it's going to reload several times, and it's unfortunate the way they do this, because it would be nice, like if I pick a character and I have to reload the mod manager to switch to a different mod profile, it actually reloads and then makes you select the character again. It'd be nice if it just remembered what character I selected and loads into it. You'll see what I'm saying. So right off the bat, I have 3 different mod profiles. Well, if I go into the mod manager, we'll start there. If I go into the mod manager and go to my mods, I have different mod profiles. There's a default, which I think comes on the very basic one. There's the relic mode, which I've created, and fully modded, which I've created. So if I look at the relic mode one, I have all of these enabled, except for the living bank helper. I do not want to see that one in here. I'm not doing a living bank. So initially when I started off, I run all of these mods as quality of life changes or improvements. So it was real easy for me to sit down and say, oh, I want to test this out. I'll just untoggle this one so it doesn't show up. And then my relic mode profile became this. But then I started trying, last night I spent some time with it and I added some mods to this. So I've now added a whole bunch of other mods. And these are ones that were part of that mod contest. When I added those, they do not automatically get enabled for this profile. So this one, when I added these just pop in here and that's it. If I want them in here, I can toggle this, but they don't show up automatically. So the mod package that I had was all these ones that are already green, and it had the living bank helper. So I untoggled that because I didn't want to display that in my relic mode run. But then I added some mods on this side, and because they're new, it automatically disables them by default. So they don't show up, which is fantastic. So nothing's going to come in and pollute my relic mode unless I get a bug or something, but nothing's going to come in and pollute my relic mode. It will always be the same package that I normally run. Now my default mod profile is not going to show, it's pretty much the same thing, except now it's going to have the, where was that at? I don't see it. The quality, here, living bank helper. Well, apparently that's disabled in this one too, but I could quickly re-enable it. Or I could create a new mod profile for just my standard account, because on the standard account, I was trying to do a living bank, sort of. A living bank is basically having one of every item in the game. So that's kind of what that's all about. And that's why that mod's on there. The rest of this is all quality of life. So for my default mod profile, the only thing I want to do is my standard package of quality of life mods. So as long as I'm running all of these, this will show up on every new character that I create. So this is pretty cool. I really like how this is set up. We really needed this from the very beginning. Now, no, we do not want to switch mod profiles. So if I were to load into this character right here, it says it's got a red person on it. So this is using the default mod profile. But this is not the mod. The reason that has a red person on it is because that is not the mod profile that is loaded into the game at the moment. The one that's loaded is this relic mode one. So if I load this character up right here, well, it's going to prompt me, do I want to do the cloud save and all this stuff? So I confirm it just like normal. We get the normal messages that we get. And then we load in and everything's cool, and that's what we're doing. So we can go back out to the character selection screen. And you'll notice that, this has changed to the most recent green save because I'd previously checked it on mobile, and now I'm checking it on my desktop. Okay, here's where things start getting to be different. So if I want to load my standard character, I'm going to click on this, and it's going to tell me that this is not the right profile. It offers this button to select that it will reload with the default profile. Now it reloads the default profile. This is what I don't like. Now I have to go back and select that character. I wish this would just automatically say, okay, cool, you want to load into this character slot? We're going to load this character slot after we reload the modding thing. I wish that one little step would make a huge difference. If it just loaded right into it and we didn't have to mess with it, that would be fantastic. So that loads my default standard quality of life package there. This is my relic mode. If I switch over to Modman over here, it's going to ask me to switch again because now I have to load fully modded. So we're going to load that up again. Then I have to go back, click the show cloud saves. I wished it would remember that I said load the cloud save of that character slot. I wished it would just do that. And this would be so much better. Or it would be better to just reload the character as I load into the character. You know what I mean? Reload the mod package as I load into the character. It's clunky having to reload it. That kind of sucks. But I now have the ability to try out the music skill. And I don't remember everything else that I've added onto here. We'll just go train this one. We've got the adventuring skill on here, adventuring skills in here. I tried this out. What all did I try on here? And this one will show you that there's various things that are all enabled. So it's enabled everything in here. So we've got strange things, Incy Wincy ancient relics. This can actually be taken off of this fully modded one because this is specific to the ancient relic mode. So I can go in and take that out. Somebody pointed this out. It's a good mod for that game mode, but I don't need this in other game modes. What I want is all of these other ones. So these, most of these came from that modding contest that we had, which is great. And if you want to reload this, yes, you have to reload it once you make a change, but it kicks you out to the starting screen and then you got to reload your character again. I wished it would just go back into the character you had and the save that you had. Now, the cool thing is these are completely separate. So I don't have to worry about adventuring mode or this adventuring skill, whatever this is. I don't have to worry about this polluting any of my other characters. And I don't have to worry about any dependency issues or anything like that, or whether music skill gets in the way of other skills. I don't care, because if it breaks this character, it is what it is, and we just go do something different. This also brings new combat areas, I thought we got new combat areas. Dense forest, that's in that strange area, Misty Lake. So this is from that one mod. We get these. And did we get any new dungeons? I don't remember all the stuff that comes in here. I did notice, like if I go to, say, mining or smithing. It was smithing. Maybe not. Thought I saw some new gear in here. At any rate, this is with the new modding stuff in here. So all the, guess I turned that one off. I don't know. But the point is, you can now have different characters with different mods applied to them. So you can have a fully modded out one. You can have a full cheat-based one, which actually that's going to be great for me as a content creator, because there's times that I want to, say, show you what being level 50 looks like in certain dungeons or something like that, but I can't take my standard character backwards, you know what I mean? So if I had just a full cheat-based one that let me get whatever I wanted and show you something, that would be advantageous to me. I've kind of, that I think would be useful for me as a creator from that standpoint. But from a player standpoint, this lets me have all these different skills and stuff in here that I would not normally run on the other modes. I don't want to change those modes. Like, I want to play relic mode as relic mode. I want to play my standard mode as standard, maybe with some quality of life stuff in there. But I don't want to start throwing in extra skills and other, like adventuring and stuff like that, that just, it's going to muddy the waters. And you're going to say, well, I don't see that on my relic mode. So I really want my relic mode to be relic mode, my standard to be standard, and not be touched by these others. So that's where this comes in. Now, there is a couple of minor problems that come up with this thing. So when I loaded this adventuring mode, I actually loaded adventuring expanded first, and it was actually up here. And it did not load adventuring, so it got into an order thing. So it said it couldn't load because it couldn't find adventuring, but adventuring was loaded or loading, it just loaded next. So what I had to do is switch the order around, and then it worked. That same thing also applies to the semi mode. The very first thing you have to have loaded is semi core. And the reason for that is because semi-core is what's used for all of the other semi-mods. And I think there was an issue that they fixed early on where it would actually load the correct things in the correct order. However, if you load some of these other ones like adventuring, you may need to manually sort those into an order that makes it work correctly. So just be aware of that. The same person, like the person that developed Path of Melvor is not the same person that developed Adventuring and Adventuring Expanded. But the person that did the two adventuring ones is the same person, and they did design those to be loaded in a specific order. So what I'm driving at is I could probably bump this Path of Melvor down and it won't matter, but I can't change the adventuring around. So if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. So that is how this thing works. And if you modify any of this in any way, you toggle something on, you toggle something off, it's going to pop this up just like you normally see where you got to reload to apply changes. It reloads you back to the starting screen. Like I said, I wish this would just load you back into the character and get you there. I also wish that this would just load. It'd be nice if it told you, like it says active mod profile. I don't know if we can actually change that here. Maybe we can go do relic mode? Okay, it does let you switch. So we can actually tell it which profile to load proactively. I just wish it would automate it a little bit to what you were looking at with that character. So anyway, this is the mod profile system that we have now. It's 90% great. Like, it's amazing that we have this. There's a little bit of jank in it, a little bit of clunkiness that I wish they would kind of clean up a little bit. It'd be nice now, like I said, to just load into the character that I selected after it reloads, or better yet, when I select this character, so like if I click this and I click this load button, it just takes you right into the character and reloads everything as it needs to. That would be an ideal solution so that I don't have to keep clicking on stuff. Like, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I just woke up. I'm scrolling through to check my characters. There's chance that I may not click the right thing twice. You know what I mean? Like, I have to click this, click that, wait for it to reload, and then click the character again. That's a few extra steps that I don't necessarily want to have. But that's my only criticism of it. Otherwise, I think this is a fantastic addition to this game, because I just started this new character last night, and I'm going to check this just to see what it does. I'm curious to see how this plays. I've been wanting to check out all these mods, but I haven't wanted to mess with my other characters, and now I don't have to. So anyway, that will do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.